Hi everyone, please subscribe my YouTube channel. My spouse instructed me to say sorry to her closest buddy after I discovered their late-night messages at 3 a.m. I dialed him on speakerphone, and he greeted with, "Hey, gorgeous. Is the idiot out cold yet? Let's slip away again this evening." I passed her the device and remarked, "Here's that apology you wanted." Then I gathered her belongings and replaced the door locks. Greetings, Reddit community. Have you ever experienced one of those evenings where everything seems utterly serene? Peaceful, tranquil, as if no trouble could arise, and then in an instant your entire reality shifts. That describes my situation. I'm Noah, age 36, and until that fateful night I believed my marriage was solid. 12 years with Lydia, the lady I encountered during our impoverished student days, splitting cheap ramen and chasing grand ambitions. We'd created a comfortable existence. A snug home, reliable careers, a pup called Whiskey, and the sort of affection I figured could endure any challenge. Turns out I was mistaken. It occurred on a Tuesday evening, or more precisely, early Wednesday morning. Around 3:07 a.m., I stirred to a subtle vibration on the bedside table. I peered at the light piercing the darkness, Lydia's cell phone. She slumbered next to me, her respiration steady and deep, strands of hair covering her features. Usually I'd disregard it. I'm not inclined to pry. I've always held that if you're compelled to search for issues, the bond is already damaged. But that persistent buzzing, text after text, irritated me deeply. It wasn't a single notification, it was a barrage. Curiosity morphed into discomfort. I grabbed the phone, paused, then accessed it. That's when my gut twisted. The texts originated from Darren, Lydia's longtime pal from university. You know the sort. Excessively chummy, constantly lingering like a stray dog, the fellow who mysteriously recalls your partner's preferred latte, her office hours, and her emotions better than you. I never warmed to him, but Lydia invariably dismissed it. "He's harmless, Noah. Quit being so envious." Yet at 3 a.m., the display illuminated with phrases that chilled my veins. "Darren, you were incredible this evening. Still can't shake your giggle from my thoughts. Darren, unbelievable your hubby missed it all. I suppose he's as oblivious as ever. Darren, so usual spot tomorrow." My fingers grew limp. There it stood. Irrefutable evidence. Words that shredded 12 years of faith like a knife through fabric. I remained seated, fixated on that screen until my vision stung. Anger hadn't surfaced yet, just shock. As dawn broke, I lingered in the living area, the device resting on the coffee table like an armed bomb. Lydia entered, yawning, locks disheveled, extending her limbs as if unburdened. "Morning, honey," she murmured, her tone still drowsy. "Why are you awake so early?" I stayed silent, merely pushing the phone toward her. Her grin wavered. "What's going on?" "Go on," I replied softly. "Read them aloud if you're able." She unlocked it, her complexion paling with each sentence. Her palms shook faintly, but rather than expressing regret, she met my gaze with a scowl. "You snooped through my phone?" I blinked. "That's your main concern right now?" She rose, folding her arms like an attorney preparing to argue. "That's an invasion of my privacy, Noah. You can't just breach my personal boundaries like that." I let out a bitter, hollow chuckle that sounded unnatural. "Your personal boundaries? You're messaging another guy at 3 a.m., labeling me oblivious, and privacy is your worry." "They're only texts," she retorted. "Darren's my buddy. He teases everyone that way. You're acting paranoid and possessive once more." "Once more?" I inquired, my voice hushed. "When was the initial instance?" She sighed dramatically, grabbed the phone, and declared, "You're distorting it all. This is why I can't communicate with you. You blow things out of proportion. Darren gets me, he actually hears me out." That final bit stung worse than the messages. I gazed at her, the woman I'd envisioned aging alongside, and realized she seemed like a stranger. Then she uttered the phrase I'll always recall. "You know what? You owe him an apology." I blinked. "Excuse me? Phone Darren," she insisted, head held high as if she were the injured party. "Right this instant, you're blaming him for nothing. Apologize, show me you trust me, trust us." My thoughts went blank. I just stared, pondering if this was some bizarre nightmare. She expected me to express remorse to the man who just dubbed her gorgeous and ridiculed me secretly. But then something within me shifted, that icy, composed fury that doesn't shout or smash objects. It simply hones itself. "You're correct," I said deliberately. "Let's contact him." Her demeanor eased right away as if she'd triumphed. "Thanks, Noah, you'll understand." I took her phone, entered Darren's digits, and activated speaker mode. It rang once, twice, then he picked up, sleepy but upbeat. "Hey, gorgeous, is the idiot out cold yet? Let's slip away again this evening." The ensuing quiet could have iced the atmosphere. Lydia's features blanched, my eyes locked with hers. Then steadily I stated, "There's your apology." I placed the phone down, stood, and exited the kitchen. She pursued me weeping, fumbling her explanations. "Noah, wait, it's not what it appears, I promise, it was merely a prank. Please don't end this." But I didn't shout, I didn't debate. I simply accessed our bedroom wardrobe, retrieved her luggage, and began filling it with her items. She pleaded, wailed, attempted to clutch my wrists. I persisted. When the final fastener secured, I wheeled the bag to the entrance and said softly, "You've chosen, now deal with it." She collapsed to her knees, tears marking her cheeks, murmuring, "I messed up." I regarded her, the lady around whom I'd constructed my existence, and replied, "Yeah, you did." Then I shut the door, and in that instant, 12 years evaporated into stillness. That evening I updated the locks, poured a tumbler of whiskey, and sat near the window as the urban hum continued outside, unaffected. Folks describe heartbreak as a blast. For me, it resembled submersion, silent, gradual, asphyxiating. But pain oddly imparts lessons no lecture hall can. I discovered that trust isn't a one-time gift, it's something to safeguard. And once shattered, no regret, no sobs, no late-night dial can reassemble it. They claim it requires years to foster trust and mere moments to demolish it. For me, it took 3 words from another guy's lips. "Hey, gorgeous. Again tonight?" That sufficed to conclude it all. In that instant, I grasped I wasn't forfeiting a spouse. I was discarding a delusion. You'd assume that once somebody reveals their true self, progressing would be straightforward. But heartache doesn't operate that way. After Lydia departed, my residence resembled a gallery, hushed, packed with recollections but devoid of vitality. Her scent clung to the drapes. Her footwear vanished from the corridor, but her specter loomed in every space. For the initial weeks, I followed routines: job, workout, rest, repeat. I'd find myself glancing at my phone for her notes despite knowing otherwise. It's odd how routines persist beyond connections. Then arrived the genuine tempest, the legal proceedings, the separation. A month post-departure, a document arrived via mail from her attorney. Evidently, Lydia had opted to initiate divorce, which was okay. I'd already accepted it. But the notice extended further. She sought spousal support, a portion of my pension funds, and, hold on, half the property. The identical property I'd acquired 5 years prior to meeting her. I recall perusing that document thrice to confirm it wasn't a hallucination. My attorney, an elderly gentleman named Mr. Fraser, shook his head gradually after reviewing it. "She's manipulating," he remarked. "Emotionally, let her create her own pitfalls." And she did. See, Lydia wasn't solely pursuing funds. She craved dominance, the type derived from realizing she could still puppeteer me. She began appearing coincidentally at my regular cafe, the fitness center, even near my workplace once. Always with that gentle tone and misty gaze. "Noah, can we chat? You don't need to proceed like this. We can repair it. I committed one error. Don't discard it all over that." An error. That's how she framed covert meetings at 3 a.m. with another man. I disregarded her. I maintained responses courteous, detached, formal. But each time she failed to elicit the desired response, she altered strategies. When sympathy failed, she attempted remorse. When remorse failed, she tried rage. When rage failed, she resorted to judicial drama. By the divorce session, she'd morphed into the ideal sufferer. She arrived in a soft azure gown, designed to appear delicate and blameless. Her counsel depicted her as a deceived wife emotionally overlooked by her partner. I almost burst into laughter. Supposedly, I was the one who pushed her toward another man's embrace. I was domineering, emotionally distant, and perpetually distrustful. They even referenced that evening, the one where I uncovered the texts, claiming I'd violated her privacy and shamed her. Shamed her? I sat rigidly, clutching the desk until my joints whitened as she informed the judge of her anguish. Tears cascaded down her face like she was rehearsing for a prize. When my opportunity arose, I didn't elevate my volume. Unnecessary. I merely produced printed versions of her 3M exchanges, the one stating, "Unbelievable, your hubby missed it all. Let's slip away again tonight." The chamber fell mute, her counsel stiffened. The judge inclined forward. Lydia's complexion shifted from ashen to flushed to ashen as if her act had been unplugged. "Mr. Fraser coughed lightly and stated evenly, "Your Honor, I think this is self-explanatory." The judge exhaled, took off her spectacles, and said, "Mrs. Jensen, I recommend you rethink the story you're offering. This undermines your reliability." That was when the facade crumbled, the scheming maneuvers. Post-hearing, I figured that concluded it. Documents executed, possessions split, matter resolved. But no, Lydia persisted. She recommenced sending texts. Initially, they were polite. I just seek resolution. We shared countless years. Can we converse one final time? Then the sentimental ones. Recall our initial getaway to the cabin. You were my closest companion, Noah. How did we arrive here? I overlooked them all until she appeared at my threshold. It was pouring that night. She lingered on the stoop, drenched, trembling, clutching an aged picture book. Her voice was faint. I just wanted to return this. You deserve the mementos, too. She appeared so diminutive there. For a brief moment, I sensed a spark of former tenderness. The side of me that once comforted her through nightmares yearned to invite her inside. Then she added, I can't exist without you. And just like that, the enchantment dissolved, because she didn't say, I love you. She said, I can't exist without you. That wasn't affection. That was manipulation, dread of forfeiting her security. I moved aside, nodded, and said, drop the album, then depart. She appeared astonished. You're truly releasing me? I grinned slightly. Lydia, I released you the night I overheard him call you gorgeous. You simply hadn't noticed yet. She didn't weep then. She just remained, quiet, vanquished, then departed into the downpour. It's been 12 months now. The divorce concluded. The home is mine. Darren relocated to a different town after his fiancée learned about him and Lydia. Fate times things impeccably, right? As for Lydia, I heard she attempted a fresh start elsewhere, but news spreads quickly. Folks recall your past long after you've relocated. Occasionally, I spot her profile on social platforms. A beaming snapshot, a fresh hairstyle, a saying about pardon and restorative vibes. I swipe by because recovery doesn't stem from feigning ignorance. It arises from acknowledging you were shattered and opting to reconstruct yourself regardless. Now I rise solo but serene. I stroll my dog, brew my Java, and head to the office, aware no one's deceiving beside me at 3 a.m., contacting another. That quietude, it once weighed heavy. Now it resembles liberty. And if Lydia ever encounters this, I hope she finally comprehends. Trust isn't demanded post-destruction. It's earned pre-loss. She believed she could reclaim me with weeping, blame, and legal antics. But ultimately, all she gained was an education. And me? I gained my tranquility.